I'm actually responding to this comment, Channing Reynolds. Hi, Channing. How you doing? You wrote me a comment and I wanted to respond. And sometimes it's a little bit easier for me to make a video rather than penning it all out in words. So this is for you, my dear. So you say, I agree that she's promoting a Luciferian doctrine. We're speaking of Billie Eilish right here, who was featured on SNL very recently. This was on October the 3rd. So that's the subject that we're talking about. But she's a boy because she wears baggy clothes and you deem her face to be manly? Question mark, exclamation point. Are you sore from that reach? You'd be better off decoding her video, All Good Girls Go to Hell, or something that isn't so ill-conceived. Okay, Channing, well, actually, I've already done that. And actually right above your video, right here, which I pinned, by the way, so that people could have more context, which has already been addressed. But that's okay. Maybe you didn't see it. That's fine. Sometimes I don't see things either. But I pinned it here, and it says this is also about Billie Eilish. If it helps bring context to this video, meaning I've got more to say about it than what you're just noticing in this video, which I was actually trying to be really quiet because my kids were asleep. So I was just, tapping away. But if you want more context to the deep, meaty underpinnings of the religious worldview that Satanism, as well as Kabbalah, New Age, Hinduism, and many, many other religions bring you in the rebellion against God, who is the one that came up with the idea of the two genders, female and male. And then Satan comes along and he flips it, he inverts it, he changes it. It's rebellion based. That is some of the reasoning that I give in this other video, which I posted right here. And it says you may find it of value or perhaps not. So I really give people the option. If you want to know more along the lines of why I'm responding to now having SNL push her, promoting the Luciferian agenda, promoting the gender agenda of the pro-rainbow mafia, you will believe what we tell you to believe, or else we'll bring laws down upon you, consequences, and their struggle of ideologies in this spiritual battle. And I have no idea if you're a Christian or not. I don't know. You might want to share that if you are or aren't, or you don't have to. That's completely fine. You don't even have to respond to this. I'm just giving you a response. You can do what you would like with it. But I actually go into some of that here, as well as, so this is this whole video where I also direct other people to go check out the religious underpinnings that we just mentioned a moment ago, but really in depth to this channel right here called Trans Apocalypse Now. And I don't know if you know that channel. So there's definitely tools and resources out there that build upon this video, where I'm just kind of outraged that once again, the population, including me, is being lied to, and kind of foolishly so, when people automatically defend anybody questioning the sexual identity of people that are openly Satanist, open in rebellion to God, abhor his rules and laws. And it's not a stretch to think that Satan could inspire people in an entire worldwide movement to gender bend. That's been happening. So that's not a strange concept. Like, oh, that's a really far reach. No, that's actually what we're seeing within the geopolitical realm, especially here in America, all around us. So I have a strong foundation then of a movement that is the springboard for which entities like Luciferian Billie Eilish are using. What you maybe are not aware of is that unbelievers break the ninth command, right? That's kind of part and parcel of who they are. Their father is the devil, the father of lies. When he speaks his natural native language, Jesus said. And so his followers, his apostles, are the Pied Pipers of hell within the puppeteering to lead the masses, the children, right along with them. And so some of them are honest and will tell you, I'm a transgender. And some of them won't. They'll lie. So do I base my opinions on merely that she has a manly face? I actually don't think she has a majorly manly face. I think that the surgery that they've given her with the lips and the eyes are quite feminized. There is an entire field, multi-billion-dollar field or million or whatever exactly it is, of doctors that do nothing more than day in, day out, 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day or whatever, 5 days a week, do feminization surgeries. So this is something that is an extremely well-established practice that many people go and they're not satisfied with their gender. They want to change into the other gender. And in Hollywood, for some reason, girls sometimes can get more attention as a female that's actually a boy, but dressing like a female to get movie roles that they maybe wouldn't have if they were just some average guy. But you start throwing on the gloss and the glitter and the hair, and you get the booby surgery, and you get the outfits and the clothes and the attitude and all that, and you get the star appearances and all those kinds of things. So there's an entire world of existence of things happening from a medical standpoint, from an agenda driven standpoint, from a Luciferian religious standpoint, all to challenge the Lord thy God, Yahweh, that we stand on that platform. So no, I'm not just going by her looks or that she wears baggy clothes. Lots of people wear baggy clothes. I submit to you that when all the evidence is taken into consideration, the chances that this person, of course, they also have to use these words, right, to hyper brand this programming to you. It's hers. Billie Eilish 2019, it's hers, because they want to set in your mind a new construct through the visual stimuli and symbology of this is what a female is, when in all reality, this person has a penis. I'm sorry, they do. They hate God. And their entire Luciferian doctrine is rebellion to the gender that God gave them. So they're promoting this child. This is a child, a 17-year-old child who has this I don't care attitude, and they are drawing children and adults and others away into a rebellion and lying to you about it. If you think that sounds far-fetched, then maybe you have not done your due diligence to do the research and the effort to understand the underpinning of why somebody does something. So I don't think it's overstretching or overreaching at all. I will admit that that video didn't go into a vast amount of detail, but again, that's why I put the other link in there so that you could go to this video. And people far more studied of this topic and smarter than myself will actually go into hours worth of research, showing you the medical practices, showing you the men that have had the surgery that are transformed now into very feminine girls. Now, there are some who don't wear super baggy clothes. They wear tight clothes. Why should we automatically believe them when they come out and say, I love Lucifer, I love rebellion, and I am a girl? When in all reality, you have this explosion in the last few years, especially from Obama and his husband, Michael, who poses as a female, who Joan Rivers said, that's a tranny. That type of behavior has been well known in Hollywood, and these people coming through the TV are not here to entertain you, my friend. They're here to program you. They're here to worldview challenge the Bible. And I submit to you that when you put in the due diligence of really, truly, honestly, for yourself, understanding what Kabbalah teaches, the underpinnings of the he and the she brought into what we call the divine androgyne, the masonry that sculpts this theology, even as cosmetically superficial as, are you aware of the 2019 gala event where they had people that were males, like Harry Styles, dressed up like a female? That these are all tenets of a religion, that they're sincerely held religious beliefs, as much as a born again Christian or any other religion is sincere about their beliefs. These people are deadly serious about theirs, and they don't want to retain their own gender identity. They want to challenge what God has said for a society that is so flipped that Taylor Swift and all of her friends can make a video pandering to this new diverse way of going in which you can identify as whatever you feel like. You don't think there's point men to lead that charge through the TV, the computers, your devices, and everything into the conversation, so much so that if you did go look at Trans Apocalypse Now's channel, you would see evidence after evidence after evidence after evidence of people that are training you how to rethink. For example, there is a show where they will teach you new pronouns for a singular entity that are plural in nature. My pronouns, the person will say, are they, them, blah, 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 and it's a singular person. Them is for a plural. So this is actually, when you take it to that level, when you use some logical deduction and reasoning, you see that this is really a challenge to the very basis of logic and what comports to evidence. So there's a lot more going on than merely just pointing out somebody's face. Although, seriously, you can't see a male staring back at you with plumped lips, beautiful eyes. They've given her green hair, but she is not a she. That is a boy. And while I don't have a picture of Billy's penis, I don't have that. I have enough other circumstantial evidence that builds a case that takes you to the likelihood that you are, in fact, being lied to and played, and might I say, delicately, made a fool of, beloved, by a satanic lying child who is being used as one piece of many to push an agenda that results in your children's complete and utter confusion, which is a tenet of European countries, that you let the child choose their gender. Just because they have breasts or a vagina doesn't mean they're a girl, they'll tell you. They want to be a boy, and some people will mutilate their bodies to achieve that. There's a whole thing going on here that maybe you're not aware of. That's possible. But I have things in here that can lead you to that place if you want to study those things. And maybe you don't. And that is completely fine if you don't want to. You can do whatever you want to. But I'm just letting you know that there's a lot more going on than what you're aware of. And then actually in this video, you may like it, you may hate it, I don't know. I actually go to some of the experts that I really like from this LED live, and they go over her specific video. So these things go together. Her my love for Lucifer, or whatever, my Lucifer's lonely, she says. The tenets of what Lucifer are as a person, if you're a Christian or you read the Bible or you understand it, what agenda he pushes with lies and cheating and falsification of information, deceit, deception, on and on and on we could go, are being used not only in that specific video, but also in an entire industry that is making people believe that certain entities are a sex when the opposite is true. And then they bring their children into it. Example would be Pink. Go look at Pink's stomach. That is not a feminine stomach. And her little child is being raised as the opposite gender. This is to move the masses with this Pied Piper ideology of training the masses to go in the direction of rebellion and subordination, and to file in with the type of Anana worship, the he, she, the divine androgyne, the male, female, he, she gods, false gods of the ancient Babylonian past. And if you know your Bible, and maybe you don't, I don't know, I have no idea, I don't know who you are, you will know that the entire world over becomes kind of like a Babylon 2.0 planet rebellion, and it will be all about turning everything God said on its head. So that's kind of where I base some of this stuff. But if you want to hear about that video, it's so much more than just pointing out, oh, she has Lucifer's wings, she's covered in oil, she, going over and deciphering the lyrics. That's all done here in this video. Maybe you just didn't see it, and that's fine. Sometimes I don't see things either, but I just wanted to give you something more than what you had left with, because maybe I didn't do my due diligence myself in really sharing with you. But I do want to show you Trans Apocalypse Now's channel, because he will explain to you the Babylonian worldview religion that these people follow, so their behavior will comport to what their beliefs are, to worship the god that is a he, she. They're just playing with you. They're lying to you. Billy is a boy and has a penis. So anyhow, Trans Apocalypse Now's channel has hours worth of information, particularly when he gets into the religious info,
pagan
like, for
rituals.
example, here. He will explain to you their religion, and it is about converting people into a he-she. It's how they worship their God. They're totally into it like Christians are, into their concept. Plus the chemical wedding. I mean, you could just start here and get educated big time. And in the comments of that video, I go over this info with somebody else asking. So check the comments, please.